Hello, Painting with a Purpose friends. We're gonna paint this really cute Santa, the Naughty or Nice Santa. So to get started, you will need your big 2-inch brush. You will also need your small flat brush, your small and medium round brush. The colors that you will be needing are red, black, and white. We're gonna start with black, and my black is really thick, so I'm just gonna wet it down a little bit. Just take some of your water and just, if you have a really thick black, that way it goes on the canvas a lot smoother. Once we have our nice black canvas, we're going to let this dry, and in just a minute we're going to get started on our Santa. Now that our background is finished, we are going to switch to our small flat brush, and we are going to come in here with the Santa white fur on the hat and his white beard. So about halfway up your canvas, you're going to draw a rectangle, and we're only doing half of the Santa's head. So this is his fur that will set at the bottom of his hat. Now that we have his fur for his hat, go ahead and fill that in. And we're gonna layer it up and make it look fluffy later. Go ahead and wipe that off and get you a nice, good drawing edge and dip it back in the white. And we're gonna draw his beard. So from here, it doesn't quite touch the hat, but just below the hat, it kind of curves out and all the way off the canvas. That is his beard. From this point, we have his mustache. And this is the top edge of his mustache. So from this point, it swoops down, and just before the side, it's going to curve back up. And then the bottom edge of his mustache is also going to start from that point, and it's going to do the same thing. It's going to swoop down, and it's going to curve up. It's not going to touch over here. Okay, now remember the colors that you're going to need are black, red, and white. You're also going to need a little bit of tan for his face. If you don't have tan, use a tiny bit of brown with white. And we're going to fill these in. All right, now with just a really light pink. So you're going to take a lot of white and a little bit of red. You just want it slightly tinted. Slightly tinted. And you're going to go underneath that line where his that bottom mustache line was. I'm just going to add a little bit of color definition. This is just kind of to define the mustache. You're going to do that same thing with the black. So a little bit of black, Lots and lots of white. Just really light. And you're just going to come in there and do that line definition. And this is his mustache. Now, rinse the white off. Wipe it, and we're going to do his red hat. Okay, so his red hat is going to come up from the fur, and just before the top, it's going to loop down, and it's going to stop just next to the beard. And then from this point, this is the bottom of the hat, this is where the pom-pom is, and it gets wider and goes right off the top of the canvas. Everything in there is red. Alright, now that we have his red hat, and we'll do another coat of red once it dries. Go ahead and rinse the red off your brush. Wipe it nice and clean. And we're going to make up some of this face color. So you want to take a little bit of tan, some white, lots of white, and a little tiny bit of red. Alright, so there's our skin color. We've added that tan color, a little bit of red, and a lot of white. And we're just going to fill in this space here between his hat . Wipe that off. Now you want to take a little bit of this and you're just going to make it a shade darker. So you're just going to take the color that you used here and you're just going to add a little bit more tan to it. You just want to make it a little bit darker. You do want it to be at least a shade darker. Once you have that shade darker, this is going to be his nose, and you're only going to see half of it. And it just kind of bumps up, and you're going to fill that in with that shade darker. So there's his nose. And that same shade darker, you're going to do a cheekbone line. So his little rosy cheeks. And it kind of starts right here next to his nose, and it's just going to curve off to where the mustache is. And you're just making a line. You're not going to fill it in like you did the nose. And we might add a couple darker lines underneath and throughout, but don't fill it in. go ahead and rinse that tan color off of your brush. And we're still using that same medium brush. We're going to give this a second to dry, and then we're going to finish it up. All right, now that this is dried, let's go over our red again, just to kind of darken it up. All right, rinse that. You're actually going to switch to that medium round brush. And we're going to add just a little hint of pink to some areas. So again, it's a lot of white and a little bit of red. And we're just going to come in here and give him a little bit of rose on his nose, a little bit of rose through his cheeks. I'm going to come down here again underneath his mustache, kind of trying to define that a little bit. Put a little red through his beard, maybe throw a little tan through his beard, just to give it some dimension. Rinse that medium brush. And with red, we're going to give him a little mouth just underneath his mustache, right here. And it runs right off the edge because we're only seeing half of him. So the other half of him is over here. So go ahead and give him a little red mouth. I'm going to rinse that off. And I'm going to kind of fill in some more of this white. Just to kind of make it a little darker. You can go right over that tan and that pink that you added. It's not going to matter. And we're going to make his mustache a little wider. We still want to keep that definition. I'm going to rinse that off. And with that light tan color, I'm going to come back in up here on his face and kind of darken that up a little bit. I'm going around his cheek. Around his nose, right up to his fur. I'm going to make his cheek a little bit bigger, so with that darker color, I'm just going to kind of come and round it up just a little bit. This is that shade darker. Put some of that light color through here. This is his cheek. All right, now we're going to switch back to our flat brush. Make sure you have all the color out of it completely. No red, just a nice clean brush. And we are going to add the little pom-pom. It was out of white, so I had to get some more white. So with this white brush, we're going to load it up, and we're just going to dab in a circle. And you want to make sure it's nice and clean because you want a nice white pom-pom. Mine, it still has some red in it. I'm going to rinse it again. We're going to add some fluff to his beard. So along the edge, I'm going to kind of dab out on the edge. I'm going to dab a little bit along his mustache line. We're just trying to make it look fluffy and textured. The pom-pom's getting really big. When our red dries and our tan dries, we're going to do our hat. You can kind of come around the edge a little bit to fluff it up. And you can go ahead and come through the center. But you don't want to get anywhere near that red or the tan until it is good and dry. Still have red on my brush. Alright. I think my tan is dry enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and write over that line. Make it a little fluffy. I know my red is not dry. Now that my red is dry, I'm going to go ahead and fluff up the top edge of my hat. Like so. Now, with your little small round brush, and if your paint is really thick, like my black paint is, you're going to want to add just a little bit of water. And we're going to put a little eye that sits right in here between the cheek and the nose. So you're just going to take your black, your little thin, and you're just going to fill this in. Kind of wedged, like he's smiling. Right in there. There we go. All right, rinse that black off really, really good. You don't want any black on there. Now, with your white, you're going to take and you're going to draw 2 boxes. The first box is going to be the naughty box. And so you want it, you've got to have enough space to write the word naughty. So we're going to put it up here, and we're just going to do a little box. And this is in our white paint. If I had a paint pen, which I love, I would be using a paint pen. But I only have black paint pens. I don't have a white one. But you can get a white paint pen. They're not too expensive, and you can find them anywhere. And I'm going to do another box kind of down here. And this is going to be my nice box. With that same small brush, you're going to write the word naughty. And then down here next to the nice box, you're going to write the word nice. Now, rinse that right off. And with red, are you going to check naughty? Are you going to check nice? So I'm going to put an X in nice. You could leave them blank. And a fun thing to do would be maybe to get something that's removable, like a little sticky bow, and when your kids are being bad, you can move the bow to naughty, and when your kids are being really good for Christmas, you can move it to nice. So if you want something removable, get those little mini Christmas bows. They're really, really inexpensive, and you can just move it from naughty to nice when your kids are behaving or not behaving. I am just going to put a big red X, whoops, my white was not dry, through the nice box, like so. So there's a fun, cute, interactive, naughty or nice Santa if you want to make it interactive. Thanks for painting with me today. I hope you guys enjoy this. Check back and see what else we have going on. I know we have some live classes coming up on our Facebook page. Hit the like and subscribe button so that we can keep bringing you amazing projects. Bye!